Hey guys, and welcome to the Working Money channel. XRP down to 46.6, and we've seen a drop since yesterday. So starting out the beginning of the month, May the 1st, 2023, we did see this drop. Yesterday when we were looking at this chart, we were forming what was looking like a bullish pennant pattern. However, that has now collapsed. Bigger market moves are creating this downturn. So XRP did find some support back down in and around here at 46 cents. And now it's trading up a bit. 46.6 give or take. Taking a look at Bitcoin, we can see the market has been behaving the same way. So yesterday afternoon, evening, we did see the Bitcoin price plummet from 29.3 all the way down here to where it's trading at now, about 28.5. So we are still holding support. It isn't really collapsing much further than that. Buyers are finding an opportunity to buy this up. And I had somebody tell me in the comment section the other day, when I was saying we were in a bull market, they were saying, bull market? What bull market? I gotta say, that is novice thinking, my friend. The day-to-day fluctuations are certainly going to feel like crap if you're not used to it. But this is not my first rodeo, and I know some of you guys have been watching the channel for a while, so it probably isn't your first rodeo either. But for those who bought cryptocurrency mid-2021, even mid-2020, and we're hoping that the price was going to go even higher than this, and then got caught in the downturn thinking 2022 was going to give us higher highs, but sure enough, market did go down 75-80% depending on which coins you purchased. Maybe you're not zooming out enough and realizing that, guys, we are making higher highs on the daily chart. So, on the long term, we are higher than we were back in December, and we are even higher than we were back in early March. So, on the Bitcoin chart, you can clearly see the higher highs, the higher lows, and these small fluctuations in between. We talk about the hourly just because, I do a daily show. So taking a look at the trend on the micro time frames is, it's got its merits. Nevertheless, we got to really take a peek and make sure we get the full picture. Even taking a look at the total market cap here, you can see how similar it is to Bitcoin and even how much tighter these fluctuations are compared to Bitcoin, because it's taking into consideration the full market. So still making higher lows on the chart and higher highs as well. Now, Crypto Insight UK here also posted this, retweeted out this tech dev tweet. The yellow arrows are not halving dates. Now, he's got the BTC chart up here, and usually what we pay attention to are the halving dates for Bitcoin when the rewards get cut in half, but he's saying these are not halving dates. They're the liquidity signals which preceded each parabolic advance to new highs in Bitcoin. So take a look at this, guys. An interesting observation here, taking a look at where these signals coincided on the chart throughout the years. We could see that cross over the 60-week moving average, and you can see, guys, at these points, we did see a push to the upside. We saw it back in 2017, in 2020 over here, before we saw that push, that new high in 2021. And guys, we're seeing it again in 2023. So that is right over here after the FTX collapse back in December when everybody was doom and gloom. When I was telling people, please accumulate now, guys, because you probably won't see lower prices than this. Of course, that is never financial advice. Anyway, I thought I'd point that out there. Should also mention this, guys, from Scott Chamberlain here. Now, I know, the XRP lawsuit is also, hanging over our heads as well. I read a lot of XRP holders' complaints about Judge Torres taking a long time. Taking only a couple of months to decide this case would be amazing. Courts take time, he says, some unreasonably so, as this example from my home jurisdiction shamefully shows. And so he just posted this headline from April of 2013. Canberra Supreme Court sets Australian record of waiting 4.5 years for judgment by Justice Refsaj. I don't think we're going to have to wait that long. Even Ripple was optimistic in that latest report that we are going to see a verdict by 2023. And so, part of this could be coordinated too. We have to keep in mind the crypto regulations in the United States also really need to be sorted out. So I wouldn't be surprised if there was some kind of coordination here with the XRP verdict and, maybe some broader updates from the crypto market. John Deaton here explaining that Coinbase's ICO in 2021 might have prompted its decision to suspend XRP trading on the platform. This one brought to us by Michael Branch. So there's this Twitter exchange between Deaton and Bill Morgan. Deaton made it known while responding to an opinion by Australian-based lawyer Bill Morgan, who noted that Coinbase's decision to delist XRP might hurt the exchange's fair notice defense. So this was in regards to the fair notice defense. Deaton explains why Coinbase halted XRP trading. According to the pro-XRP lawyer, Coinbase went public in April of 2021, if you guys remember, less than 4 months after the SEC charged Ripple and 2 of its execs with offering unregistered securities. It bears mentioning that before Coinbase's IPO, the San Francisco-based exchange had already suspended XRP trading. On January 19, 2021, attorney John Deaton, who represents over 75,000 XRP hodlers in the SEC versus Ripple lawsuit, stated that the leading crypto exchange needed the SEC's approval to go public. And that's why he's saying that they did what they did. I have no doubt that the overwhelming advice, like 99, if not 100%, a Coinbase received by regulatory compliance lawyers and litigators was to suspend and not interfere with their IPO. So in self-preservation mode, obviously not thinking about us XRP hodlers and, what that would mean for us. And maybe this is why Uphold, decided to go the other way. They were not launching an IPO. The benefit, the upside for them was that, they were going to be able to take all those trading fees for the XRP trading that was going on in the United States at that point, because basically all other exchanges decided to shut down XRP trading. So an interesting observation here. I wanted to thank John Deaton just for bringing that to our attention. I mean, we're getting some big news in the banking sector, and of course, cryptocurrency is becoming more and more inextricably linked to the banking sector. This from Merlin on a roll on Twitter, retweeting out a Bloomberg tweet. First Republic Bank's emergency auction has prompted a question surrounding bidder JP Morgan, and an answer could come fast. Well, JP Morgan did in fact, I found an updated article with regards to this. JP Morgan did in fact buy First Republic Bank's asset after the government auction. So I was showing you guys First Republic Bank stock. I think it was in yesterday's video, trading all the way down here, down quite a bit. If I throw that on the weekly, you guys can see that a little better, how much it has plummeted since about January. Well, now it is confirmed as part of the deal, JP Morgan will make a payment of $10.6 billion to the FDIC as part of the deal to buy most of the lender's assets. The bank has also entered into a single share agreement with the FDIC on single family, residential, and commercial loans it bought, but will not take First Republic Bank's corporate debt or preferred stock. So guys, that is the update there with First Republic Bank. The banking sector in the US is getting decimated more and more as the days go on. And of course, this is not instilling confidence in the rest of the world. So, in the other side of the world, the BRICS countries, for example, they're, as we know, they're already looking to dislodge the US dollar and work on their own central bank digital currency, perhaps backed by gold. Well, a former White House economic advisor is echoing those same sentiments. He says BRICS issued currency has the potential to topple the US dollar dominance in international trade. This coming from Joseph Sullivan. So he used to work for the White House. He says that BRICS issued money would enable its members, Brazil, Russia, China, India, and South Africa, to turn their backs on the dollar and trade in goods and services using the new currency, which he calls the BRIC. That's a pretty appropriate name for it, I think. According to Sullivan, who served during the Trump administration, the BRIC could usurp the dollar's place on the throne, as BRICS is composed of economic heavyweights in their respective regions. The Economist goes on to say that the BRIC could be the beginning of the end of the dollar's reign. Is it realistic to imagine the BRICS only using the BRIC for trade? Absolutely. For starters, he says they could fund the entirety of their import bills by themselves. In 2022, as a whole, the BRICS ran a trade surplus, also known as a balance of payment surplus of $387 billion, mostly thanks to China. The BRICS would also be poised to achieve a level of self-sufficiency in international trade that has eluded the world's other currency unions. So guys, looking very, very dicey here. Michael Branch also bringing us this article with regards to Zimbabwe specifically and how they are de-dollarizing. They have a particular strategy for de-dollarizing. I'm going to give you guys some of the fast facts here. Zimbabwe's Reserve Bank is launching a gold-backed digital token on May 8th. So they do in fact have a date for this in about a week. As part of their de-dollarization strategy, the implementation will occur in 2 phases, with the first focusing on investment purposes and the second on facilitating transactions and settlements. The gold-backed token will aim to provide a stable means of payment and store of value in the Zimbabwean economy. And I think Zimbabwe is one of those countries that wants to join the BRICS Union. And I'm not entirely sure if the BRICS nations are going to be fairly loose with their policy in terms of, you can use any currency you want to trade with us. It does not have to be our BRICS, central bank-based, gold-backed currency or whatever. And it doesn't have to be the Russian ruble, and it doesn't have to be the Indian rupee or the Chinese yuan or whatever. It can be any currency, and I think this is why they're building that DLT technology to rival SWIFT too. So, the fact that Zimbabwe is doing this with their own, gold-backed digital token, that is also speaking volumes to where this new emerging economy is going. And we've also got Robert Kiyosaki here saying the Fed is wiping out regional banks by supporting only big banks. So, on the heels of what we saw with the JP Morgan buyout, Rich Dad Poor Dad author Robert Kiyosaki says the Fed is wiping out regional banks by supporting only one big bank like JP Morgan Chase. So he's essentially calling this out. JP Morgan buying out the big assets. Kiyosaki tweeted on Wednesday, WTF, what the Fed? Why is Fed destroying regional banks across America? Regional banks are the heart and soul of the economy. Fed via the repo market is killing regional banks. Is this intentional? Is a depression intentional? WTF is the Fed up to? Get dollars out of regional banks. So he's posting this as a warning here to Americans who may have money in regional banks. The renowned author followed up with a tweet on Thursday stating that even online retail giant Amazon is affected by the Fed's actions. Without credit flowing, Amazon is cutting 18,000 jobs, he stressed, adding the ripple effect from WTF will bring down the United States, WTF wiping out regional banks. So Robert Kiyosaki here also, coming out, being very critical of what the Fed is doing. And, part of the concerted effort perhaps to crush the opposition, to give the incumbents a leg up, and maybe this is just part of their Great Reset strategy. To a degree, the bigger banks buying up the smaller banks, the economy being rigged so that these smaller banks collapse. I mean, I still can't get that soundbite of and I didn't even hear it. I just read it in an article when Barney Frank said we had to close Signature because not because we were fundamentally insolvent or anything like that, but just because of the political pressure surrounding our banking model and cryptocurrencies. He basically came out and said that. So the entire bank folded because of politics. And this was coming from one of the board members, Barney Frank, who we know used to work for the U.S. government. Right? So Robert Kiyosaki now also, questioning the same kind of glaring problem here. Why is this going down the way it is going down? I mean, there really is only one explanation in my mind, and it is Great Reset related. I don't know if you want to believe that or not, but, so many things here are just not adding up. So many things are just not making sense otherwise. But a more positive tint to this, guys, from Ian Binns, IOTA, Ripple, and Stellar are to conquer trillion-dollar markets with SWIFT under ISO 20022 regulation. So integrating Ripple, integrating Stellar, and IOTA with SWIFT, this just came out in a report. Ripple, IOTA, and Stellar offer solutions that could serve an untapped industry. Should all networks come to meet together the needs of the demographics in the industry? Should all the networks come together to meet the needs of the demographics in that industry, billions of dollars could be recorded in revenue. So this originally coming from Finextra, the low value, and they talk a little bit about low value cross-border payments. We know Ripple, we totally know about Stellar, but they also mention IOTA in this piece. Here's a quote: low value cross-border payments are the lifeblood of the global economy. So this was directly from the report. From international businesses conducted by SMEs to overseas purchasers to customers and remittance flows, these transactions have a real and tangible impact on people around the world. Yet the low-value payment space is often overlooked when considering the broader payments ecosystem, the research noted. But according to the recent reports, they named Ripple, they named IOTA, and they named Stellar. They're set to work with SWIFT under the ISO 20022 regulation. So, when they say there's no such thing as an ISO 20022 regulated stablecoin or compliant cryptocurrency or whatever, it doesn't matter, because these companies obviously are the ones that are going to thrive under the ISO 20022 regulation. They were kind of created to be the front runners after ISO 20022 implementation. And so other market infrastructures across the world, namely the Nigeria Interbank Settlement System, the Federal Reserve, and the Bank of England, have all collectively made plans to move to ISO 20022 between the years of 2022 and 2025. So that's just naming a few. But we know the entire world needs to onboard onto ISO 20022 eventually. So Ripple, guys, Stellar, and IOTA have been in fact named in this report. So this is huge news. Wanted to thank Ian for posting that. And even here, directly from Swift's website. So the link is in here. Sandy Ver here posted this little screen grab here, getting ready for the transaction manager. And that is apparently happening later this month, May 29, 2013. We build up a live payments transaction, and transaction manager will begin. We aim to control and execute the gradual buildup of ISO 20022 traffic to transaction managers, starting initially with low volume. So maybe they're going to be testing a product like Ripple or Stellar in that low volume environment. But then eventually, as we ramp up, they say, to covering all ISO 20022 traffic in the future. So eventually they will ramp up and then cover all the ISO 20022 traffic eventually. So guys, that is happening later this month. Huge news coming down the pipe. Not only that, on the heels of all this, we're seeing other world news. XRP Darren posting this development of finance assessment for Thailand. Okay, brand new report from April 2023. And here they noted this, guys. The Thai SEC specifically, they have approved 4 cryptocurrencies: Bitcoin, Ether, XRP, and XLM. So that's an interesting choice, I gotta say. BTC, ETH, those are the main two, kind of the bigger ones. XRP, though, and XLM, the fact that they're choosing these 2 cryptocurrencies, obviously they want to use these cryptos in a real-world capacity, or they see these cryptos as being, valuable in terms of trading because they're going to be used in a real-world capacity. So it says future 4 cryptocurrencies. These are the ones that they're choosing. Digital assets, including both cryptocurrencies and digital tokens, can be traded only on approved digital asset exchanges. And they even classify them as different things. Cryptocurrencies are created to be a medium of goods and a medium for exchanging goods, services, rights, or digital assets. However, they are not considered legal tender. So at least in Thailand, cryptocurrencies are not going to be considered legal tender, but these digital assets are in fact going to be utilized and traded. And these are the only 4 that are approved. So huge news here coming out of Thailand on the heels of this ISO 20022 news coming from Swift. And the 3 major cryptocurrencies, IOTA, Stellar, and Ripple, being those top ones that they've listed here. We've also got Standard Chartered Bank, guys. We know they're also a Ripple partner. They're allowing people to apply for new multi-currency accounts that can be utilized on a debit card. So I happen to see this from the Dinar Recaps report brought to us by BondCrypt XRP here. This multi-currency debit card allows you to hold several foreign currency accounts that can be utilized for payments. So, even companies like Standard Chartered are getting ready, similar to how Thailand is getting ready, preparing for the trade of these particular cryptocurrencies, Bitcoin and Ether obviously being the biggies, but then XRP and Stellar, those to me are the shiny nuggets there, the big clues as to where this economy is going to be going. And of course, I probably should touch on this too, since it is the beginning of the month. May 1st, 2023, Ripple did unlock another billion from the escrow. The price did slip, as we talked about earlier on in this video. So just down here, Whale Alert did alert us to this as of 8 p.m. last night. The second transaction did mirror and reflect the first one. So 2 transactions of 500 million XRP has been released. And we know this is to provide more liquidity for on-demand liquidity products. And the more and more ODL corridors, obviously, that are being open, the more this XRP is being utilized. So, whereas, a few years ago, we just didn't have the same quantity of ODL that was needed. A lot of the XRP was going back into escrow. Ripple is, in fact, now helping provide liquidity, with new tools, liquidity pools, and the line of credit. So the XRP now is becoming more and more useful to these products. So more and more XRP being utilized is just going to be better for the entire ecosystem as it is being needed more often. So I wanted to thank Wheezy as well just for posting that. Now, wanted to bring this to your attention, guys, an interesting clip here from the Indian billionaire and bank CEO Uday, brought to us by SL Kanthan. It was also brought to my attention by Dodler4XRP. Now, who is this guy, you ask? Of course, he's Uday Kotak, the CEO and founder, of course, of Kotak Mahindra Bank. Now, we know Kotak Mahindra Bank is a Ripple partner. Back in 2018, Ripple improves access to India with Kotak Mahindra Bank. So this partnership has been forged for a while now. Remember, back in 2018, Ripple already had 50% of India, and Kotak was one of those banks. And listen to where Uday Kotak stands on the global reserve currency, the current currency, the US dollar. Listen to this.
I genuinely feel the biggest financial terrorist in the world is the US dollar. All our monies are in Nostro accounts, and somebody in the US can say, you cannot withdraw it from tomorrow morning. And you're stuck.
Yeah.
That is the power of the reserve currency. And I think we are at a very crucial time in the world history, where the world is desperately looking for an alternative reserve currency. These changes happen once in hundreds of years.
So boom goes the dynamite. Even the CEO of Kotak Mahindra Bank, a bank that has had a confirmed Ripple partnership since 2018, one that understands liquidity usage, one that understands the need for liquidity, and he's even talking about the Nostro and Vostro accounts. The US dollar is being held hostage. He realizes, guys, where the world is going. Obviously not saying it directly, but supporting that BRICS initiative, moving on to a new payment system. Of course, India is going to have to source the liquidity somehow, and chances are the majority of it will be sourced through XRP, considering Ripple already has these Indian banking partnerships. Ham, Eggs, and Sam here also posting this with regards to this clip. This is what I've been saying for years. I'll add to it, after a period of upheaval, a neutral bridge asset like XRP stands a fair chance at becoming the next global reserve currency. It is agnostic, it is useful in transferring anything of value to anything else of value, and if we're headed in this direction and the BRICS countries take over the lion's share of the global economy, think about it, guys, their banking systems running on ISO 20022 compatible technology, there's only going to be a handful of cryptocurrencies that are really going to matter in this new financial system. So invest wisely. That's just my opinion, but I want to hear what you guys think. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Like the video if you like the content I'm providing. I always love hearing your comments. See you in the next one, guys.